Copeland, one on an interception return for a TD. Eric Whitman is downstairs. Eric?
Thanks, guys. I'm here with Sherm Silling, the Executive Secretary of the North Dakota High School Sports Athletic Activities Association. And Sherm, first of all, let's talk a little bit about Dakota Bowl 2001. Your impressions of Game 1 so far?
Oh, fantastic. That was a pretty good first half of football, and Maddox was an excellent team. I watched them play in the semis last weekend up in Maddox, and they beat a very good Roulette-Wilford team. And I hadn't had the privilege of watching Strasburg play, but I'll tell you what, they showed up today, and I was talking to Coach Lear, and he says, hey, we just run into a better team today, so that happens in football. It was a great game.
This is sort of the premier tournament for the North Dakota High School activities. Talk a little bit about that and what this tournament means to the state overall.
Well, I can't remember how long that the playoffs have been in, but originally, quite a while ago, didn't have football playoffs, and we think that the playoff system that we have in place right now is just great for our schools. They have a chance to come through the tournament brackets, and the goal for everybody is to get here. And some days we have it in 2 days, and some days we have it all in 1 day, depending on if the Bison are home and things like that. So this is what everybody works for, and this is the end of our football season, so it's got to be good.
Next year it moves up to the Alaris Center. It's been in the Fargo Dome since, I believe, 1993. Why they decide to move it up to the Alaris Center?
Well, we have a tournament committee in place that deal with site selections. It's one of the most difficult things that they deal with. And on that tournament committee, I have members of my board of directors, as well as the athletic administrators and tournament managers who manage the tournaments throughout the state. And we try to do a balancing of those tournaments so that one town doesn't get all. It's a lot of work to put on a tournament for us, and when we have the facilities that we have, it's hard to ignore one. And so the recommendation was made to the board of directors at our last meeting that the football finals be at the Alaris Center next year, and that was approved. So there's the football purist out there says that, hey, we can still play this game outside, and we certainly can, and it's really nice out there today, but if this is what it takes to keep football, or keep the weather nice outside, I guess we'll go inside for football. So.
Any chance, any ideas of possibly moving the game to Bismarck or anywhere else possibly in the state?
Well, I learned a long time ago, you never say never. And right now it's looking like it's going to be on probably a rotational basis. I don't know how long, but we'll be at moving to Alaris versus the Fargo Dome. Then we don't have any history at the Alaris Center. We don't know whether it'll be a good financial decision or not, and so proof will be in the pudding, so they say.
There's some talk about adding another division to football for North Dakota High School. Your opinions on that? Is that something that you're looking at, or is that a possibility even?
Well, again, I've learned to never say never, and a couple years ago we had a few small schools in the Northwest talk about six-man football. I think that's probably what you're referring to. And we're not looking at that right now, but if our member schools decided that there was going to be six-man football, I guess there would be six-man football. It's a difficult task right now. Our football committee takes a hard look at restructuring. We do it on a two-year cycle, and with declining enrollments, consolidations, it's going to get difficult all the time to maintain the four divisions that we do have, and so whether or not six-man comes into play, I would say there's always that possibility.
Another topic, girls volleyball and basketball switching. What was your reasoning behind doing that?
Well, I guess it was a decision that was made based upon lawsuits occurring in other states, not a single state winning those, spending all kinds of money in legal fees and having the judges decide how it's going to go in their states was something that didn't appeal to our membership. With Montana and South Dakota going to girls basketball in the winter along with boys and volleyball in the fall, and Minnesota had already done that, and our border schools asked our board of directors to take a look at it, and the decision was made to do it. And I'd say the two reasons are because of legal implications that were out there, as well as a request from a member schools to look at it. And so the decision was made, and here we go.
As far as logistically scheduling for next year's Class A girls and boys tournament, they're both going to be here at the Fargo Dome. Was that even considered, and was that looked at, and what do you feel about that issue?
Well, the combined State A tournament has been awarded to Fargo. Formatting that tournament, we've had one meeting and we've talked a little bit about that, and we'll be getting a presentation from the Metro Area Tournament Committee, and whether or not it's going to be 2 floors in the Fargo Dome or 2 different venues or an all-day tournament, that's still up in the air. We'll just have to do what we feel is going to be best, and I believe it's probably not going to be perfect the first year, but it won't be long and it will be.
Good deal. Sherm Silling, thank you very much, Executive Secretary of the North Dakota High School Association. We'll have more from the halftime show here on WDAY, WDAZ, KBMY, and KMCY here from the Fargo Dome, Dakota Bowl 2001.
With winter upon us, do you trust your car to keep you going? The Firestone store, your Master Care Car Center, assures you peak performance with Sun Engine Diagnostics. Firestone ASC certified master technicians can locate virtually any cause for problems from hard starting to poor fuel economy. The customer-friendly printout will show you exactly what tests were performed and what is recommended to get you back on the road with safety and confidence. For all your car care needs, satisfaction is guaranteed at the Firestone store, South 7th, just east of Kirkwood Mall.
Hello, pet people. Welcome to the Pet Shop. I'm Mark Marone from Parrots of the World.
Sunday at 9:30 a.m.
On the next Stargate SG-1.
You must all flee. It comes this way.
What does?
2 civilizations stake a claim to a precious world.
The Incarans must leave or they will die.
Only one can survive.
We're not going to sit around and watch these people get slaughtered. And you're willing to blow up that ship to do
Give
that?
me another choice.
Now, O'Neill must make the toughest decision of his career.
Once you detonate the reactor, there's no turning back.
Richard Dean Anderson stars on the next Stargate SG-1.
Saturday on KBMY, KMCY.
This is the KBMY, KMCY community calendar. The Fire Youth Rally will be held Wednesday, November 14th at the Bismarck Civic Center at 7 p.m. This event is an opportunity to unite area youth for encouragement, hope, and truth. Contact Bob Upgren at 250-9964 for information. The Minot Recreation Commission is offering free public skating at the All Seasons Arena November 15th from 7 to 9 p.m. Call 857-4730 for more information.
Welcome back to the Fargo Dome. With Steve Hallstrom, Pat Sweeney. Hope you're enjoying our coverage today, and we're just in the middle of it as Velva-Sawyer, the defending champ, takes on Harvey for Class A's championship. And here we see that it is a battle of unbeaten, Steve, but Harvey has the decided edge in the passing department.
Well, Brad Sandy's son is the passer for the Harvey Hornets, and so when you've got a coach's kid under center, it tends to be able to allow you to do a few different things. A very good runner, a good passer as well as Blair Sandy, and a kid that really can do a lot of different things to hurt you. The statistics are so similar, it's almost scary in terms of points scored, points allowed, and the records are very good as well. Larry Sandy will tell you that we're a little bit surprised, to be honest with you, to be here. We weren't expected to do a whole lot this year because we graduated 14 seniors off that state championship team last year. But as the year went on, our guys seemed to find a way to win, and they started studying a little harder later in the season. We'll talk about that as the afternoon goes on, but the study has certainly paid off. They've put up 237 rushing yards a game, 57 yards through the air, and have won a number of real close games. And he says we're tested. A lot of these guys know what it's like to be in a state championship game, and hopefully that experience will help us today.
Larry won state titles here in '97 and 2000. Let's go downstairs to Eric Whitman.
Guys, I'm here with Hornets head coach Brad Sandy. And Brad, obviously your team undefeated. What has been the secret to your success?
Well, I think we've got a pretty good offensive football team. We're awfully experienced. Our defense gets overlooked a little bit. I think that's pretty solid too. I think we're just a solid football team all the way around.
And your son Blair, obviously, is sort of the leader of this team, especially on the offense. Talk about him and what he brings to this club.
Well, he's been around football all his life. You know, he's 2 years old. He's going to practice with me and that type of thing, so he understands the game. He gets us going on the offensive side of the ball, and he does a real good job of that. You know, he's an excellent athlete.
Obviously, I know you guys don't want to talk about it too much, but you do have the family feud here, so to speak, brother versus brother. Talk about that. Have you talked to your brother Randy at all, or what?
Last Sunday he came over and we got some films exchanged and that type of thing, but I think we both have the same idea. You know, this isn't between Brad and Larry. This is the game of Velva versus Harvey, and you know, you're looking at two of the elite football programs in Division A football, and we'd like to keep it that way. We've both got excellent kids, and that's what it's all about. It's not about Brad and Larry.
Take a look at these two teams. How do they match up, and what do you think you guys need to do to get the win here?
Well, you know, they're going to run the football. Larry doesn't throw a lot of balls. You know, he'll throw once in a while, but he's going to run the football, and he's done that since I've known him in coaching, and that's the way he is. I used to kid him that he didn't have an imagination, but his offense now is kind of imaginative, because you're going to see a lot of motion and a lot of wing cut and that type of thing. So we've got to be real skilled defensively to stop their offense, and their offense is good.
I know, talking to you earlier, it's going to be tough if you win or even if you lose, depending on, because you don't want to lose your brother, but then again, you don't want to see him lose. How are you guys going to handle that after this game is done?
Oh, I think we'll get together and we'll probably have a beverage, and that'll be over.
Okay, thank you very much, Brad Sandy, head coach of the Hornets. Good luck to you. That is it for this halftime show. Actually, we'll be right back with more from WDAY, WDAZ, WKBMY, and KMCY from the Dakota Bowl 2001.
Strong hands to guide you.
You're never alone with Farmers Union Insurance. Your local agent can help you develop a life insurance plan that will take care of the many financial requirements your family may face, from estate planning to education for your children to retirement income.
Safe in the feeling, you're never alone.
Farmers Union Insurance. Protect your family from financial uncertainty.
This is Jack Hanna. On the next Animal Adventures, we're off to explore Brazil's Rio de Janeiro, climbing to the Atlantic forest to visit a unique conservation project for a tiny endangered primate, and then get a look behind the scenes at the Rio Zoo. Share Kathleen's Jeep adventure ride as she discovers the wildlife in the world's largest municipal park. And don't miss out on Jungle Jack's bloopers. You never know what you'll see. See you on the next Jack Hanna's Animal Adventures.
An ABC premiere event.
Some private in the 101st lost 3 of his brothers, and he's got a ticket home.
The greatest danger for 8 men.
It's not going to be easy to find one particular soldier in the whole damn war.
Was saving 1. Tom Hanks.
That's my mission.
Ed Burns and Matt Damon. presented uncut. The network premiere of Saving Private Ryan, Sunday, November 11th at 8/7 Central on ABC. Viewer discretion is strongly advised.
This is the KBMY KMCY community calendar. Ruth Meyer's hospitality staff will be spending 24 hours in cardboard boxes on the lawns of McCabe Methodist Church in Bismarck, November 15th and 16th from noon to noon during Hunger and Homeless Awareness Week. Please bring donations to McCabe or call in pledges at 222-2108. This has been Community Calendar, Box 7277, Bismarck, North Dakota.
Class A title game moments away, and look at that huge sign that the Harvey Hornet fans made covering all of one section and about half of another here.
It's a contrast, Pat, in offensive styles, and a couple of minutes ago Brad Sandy talked about that. The Velva-Sawyer team used to be kind of a power I formation. They always had that great back, a Jade Kittleson or a Wade Kittleson a few years ago, but Coach Sandy last year went to more of a wing, double wing formation, a lot of motion, a lot of spread offenses. So you'll see that on one side of the ball. The other side, on the Harvey side, you'll see more of a pro set offense, split backs, 2-3 receivers at a time.
Well, let's hear from the coach of the Aggies, Larry Sandy, with Eric Whitman.
Thank you, Pat. Yes, I am here with Aggies head coach Larry Sandy. And Larry, team is undefeated, but you're a little bit surprised of it since you lost so many guys from last year, aren't you?
Well, it was start at the beginning of the year. It was a rebuilding process to begin with. We had a fairly decent nucleus of players back, but we had a lot of players that were untested, and we just made a lot of development throughout the year and played pretty darn well down the end of the year.
Talk a little bit about this defense and your offense. What makes them so special?
Well, I think offensively, we put in a new system 2 years ago, or started last year, and you know, I think the thing that's been the most productive for us has been our kids up front. We just been getting an awful lot of good push up front, and it's an offense I think that's kind of difficult to defend. We get a lot of motion and a lot of countering, and then we can hit you right up the gut, so it's kind of tough to defend. Defensively, we've just gotten better each and every game. That was probably the weakness of our team to begin with. But the kids have got a lot of experience, and they've made a lot of improvement.
I know it's not something you guys really are happy to talk about, but the family feud. You're facing your brother Brad. Talk about that and what this game sort of means to you about that. Why about that?
Well, it's a special game, you know. It's kind of on a difficult side. I got a nephew playing on the other side, and you like to see them have success. On the other side, I've got a lot of players over here. I got a lot of heartfelt feelings for. I want to see them succeed. So it's going to be a tough game, win or lose, but you know, we'll go out there and have fun and see what happens.
A lot of talk about your nephew Blair. How are you guys going to stop him?
I don't know. We'll find out. I guess we got to get a little bit of a game plan in mind, and our secondary is going to have to play well, but big key for us would be trying to get some pressure on and get our hands up. They do a lot of timing routes, which are tough to get a quarterback after that, so we'll do what we can.
All right, thank you very much. Larry Sandy, head coach of the Aggies. We'll have more coming back to the Fargo Dome for Dakota Bowl 2001 on WDAY, WDAZ, KBMY, and KMCY.
With winter upon us, do you trust your car to keep you going? The Firestone Store, your Master Care Car Center, assures you peak performance with Sun Engine Diagnostics. Firestone ASC certified master technicians can locate virtually any cause for problems from hard starting to poor fuel economy. The customer-friendly printout will show you exactly what tests were performed and what is recommended to get you back on the road with safety and confidence. For all your car care needs, satisfaction is guaranteed at the Firestone Store, South 7th, just east of Kirkwood.
She wanted her plastic back.
You went into her bedroom to ask for Tupperware?
Yes. And her neighbor flipped her lid.
She said, well, don't you dare. Shame on you. Look in that cupboard there.
This airtight case of assault.
She put her arm on one end of that cupboard and with all of her force threw it on me.
Can't contain her.
The way I physically felt, I did not feel stable at all.
You're not stable.
Next Judge Judy.
Anybody that started an argument over 2 pieces of Tupperware isn't too stable.
Friday at 6 p.m. BMY-TV Bismarck, KMCY-TV Minot.
Live from the Fargo Dome, it's Dakota Bowl High School football on KBMY KMC1. Today's game is brought to you by the North Dakota Farmers Union, Cenex Prime, Wells Fargo, Fireside Office Products, the Bismarck Firestone Store, Dodge and your friendly Dodge dealers, BSC, Otter Tail Power, Cellular Plus, Dakota Spas, Northern Tier Federal Credit Union, and the People's State Bank. Now, let's go to the Fargo Dome for the play-by-play of today's game.
They really do have mixed emotions about this game. They really want to win, and you spend so much time around your kids, and you see them getting ready and so excited for a state championship. But when you have a brother, and in case of Larry's situation, he's got a nephew on the other side too, and they say, you know, it's fun to win the game for about 30 seconds, and then you're going to start feeling bad for the other guy. But each of these coaches has had so much success that you know that they're both going to be back here fighting for another state championship sooner or later.
In the playoffs, Velva-Sawyer beating Stanley by just 5 points and shutting out Renville County last week in the semis. They ended the regular season with a 41-0 win over Bowman. And Harvey got here the hard way, actually, when you look at their semifinal win last week. Actually, it was an 18-12 victory over Thompson in overtime. And Kyle Wolf was the man who, the senior running back who scored that winning touchdown in overtime. But beating some pretty good teams there, actually shutting out Griggs County. And
well, Brad Sandy said that win against Thompson.
They beat Oaks, actually. We got that score reversed, Steve. I'm sorry. But
no, the two games that Harvey has played Thompson twice this year, and Brad Sandy says that Thompson team should have been ranked in the top 5 all year. He said the state semifinal game was an absolute war. He says, I've never seen two teams leave it completely on the field the way that they did. And actually, it was a very costly win because 2 of their starting offensive linemen were lost in that game. The starting center and the starting offensive guard were both injured in that game, and it's Chris Eisenbeis, who was the center. He broke his elbow, and then Brian Walsh, a fine right guard, broke his ankle. Those are 2 leaders on that team, and 2 pretty big dudes, by the way, as well. And so Brad's been busy this week trying to figure out how to patch those holes. And he said, we've got some guys in there that can play, but they're not tested quite the way our offensive line gets tested in the tough games. So we don't know exactly what we'll have up front. He said before those 2 guys got injured, it was scary how dominating our offensive line had been.
There you look at the statistical matchup again. In fact, talking about those injuries, Steve, they've got Nathan Arnold, Harvey does, slotted at center, at least to start this game. Now, he's 161 pounds. But we were told that we may see Luke Heitman, a 205-pound senior, in there if Harvey has trouble moving things at the line, so we'll have to keep an eye on that. So the injuries really have affected their strategy. You lose 2 starters on your O-line, one of them a senior, and what a tough way to go out.
It's especially frustrating to know those kids won't have a chance to play here today. That's a real tough break. You get this far and you win the state semifinal game, and your reward is supposed to be a chance to play for all the marbles. And they're certainly part of the team in other ways, leadership, encouragement, and trying to coach those younger guys. Those guys will be coaches on the field, well, on the sideline at least today.
Well, both of these teams regulars here at the Dakota Bowl. As we mentioned, Velva-Sawyer coach Larry Sandy leading his teams to state championships in '97 and 2000. Brad Sandy won a state A title in '98. His first year at Harvey after Bill Cahill, unfortunately, was 0-4 in Dakota Bowl games as the Harvey coach. Bill now coaching at Jamestown. So really the 9-man game between Strasburg, Zeeland, and Maddock had the only matchup of teams that really haven't been here. Everybody else in the field has been here before at least once.
We remember that 1998 game, of course. That was the Stanley team led by Mark Bratton and Jim Miller, 2 fine players from Lynn Engett's program. By the way, we should mention the Stanley Blue Jays. They've certainly built a great winning tradition over the years. And now Jim Miller is up at UND. Mark Bratton is at North Dakota State University. And it was Brad Boucher who came out and had a great game as the Harvey quarterback, and he's at NDSU now as well. I remember that game for a couple different reasons. One that stood out to us right away was that Brad Boucher was on target with his passes early in that game and really helped set a tone for the Hornets that they would be able to run and to throw the ball. And That was a big win for Brad Sandy, but he'll be the first to admit it didn't really feel like my team. I still felt like I was kind of coaching Bill Cahill's team. So this time around, he probably won't admit it, but it maybe feels just a little bit more special.
There's Brad Sandy, and one thing I suppose I should add, since we're going down memory lane here, Brian Walsh, who is out with an injured or broken ankle, actually, is a cousin of Ross Brennan. And his season ended with an injury early in this year, as Brennan was having a fine freshman year as a nose guard at UND. So it's been a tough football season for that family.
Well, same thing happened to Jim Miller. We talked about him a minute ago. These players aren't going to want us to talk about him anymore because we don't have much good to say on the injury front with some of those guys.
Jim's season is over. Saw him not long ago, and he was scheduled for surgery if he hasn't had it already.
He's a great young man. He'll bounce back, and he will be heard from in that UND Fighting Sioux backfield.
Harvey will kick off to start this game.
Well, Pat, we've got the defending state champ and the #1 ranked team in the state. This is about as good as it gets. 12-0, Harvey, 11-0, Velva-Sawyer. Two teams that know what it means to win football games.
Kelly Marthy, the kickoff man for the Harvey Hornets. And Dan Holman, number 33, the top rusher and receiver for Velva-Sawyer. Back there with Jarvis Gemtrude. And it'll come to Gemtrude on the hop at his own 15-yard line. Following his blockers and has some room on the right side all the way up to the 35-yard line. Nice return for Gemtrude.
Very nice job of reading the blocking there. Started that one up the left sideline. Realized that it was congested. Saw a good hole to the middle. And a nice job by the Velva-Sawyer return crew of opening up some room.
Blake Colby will lead the Velva-Sawyer Aggie offense. He's thrown for 8 touchdowns and rushed for 2. Dan Holman, as we mentioned, 16 touchdowns rushing, 5 touchdowns through the air. Plasuk, Kwame, Wunderlich, Vogel, Rogers, and Hagan on the line. The Aggies will use a lot of motion and a one-man setback usually, and they give it to that one man, Matt Weidler. Look at Weidler go on the first carry of the game. Matt Weidler down to the 15-yard line. Andrew Fowle saving the day for the Harvey Hornets.
Well, so much for the double wing look. Larry Sandy comes out in more of a pro set formation, single backfield. Matt Weidler, a great football player. Watch him shake through some tackles. A couple of guys had a chance at him. Breaks one there, another one there, and then he turns on the jets, switches hands like a good running back should, and boy, the Velva-Sawyer Aggies in business early.
We are off to a flying start here. Dan Holman in motion. He's got the ball, following his wall of blockers and slanting off to the left for a gain of 5 on first down to the 10.
Nice job by that Velva-Sawyer offensive line. Larry Sandy says that has been our pleasant surprise this year, how well that line has come together.
Looks Marthy, Heitman, Wenzel, and Cody Rogas, Nick's brother, up front. Nick, an outstanding Harvey Hornet in his day. Hoffer, Toso, Wolf, Lesmeister, Fowle, and Combs are the backs. Jason Combs. Here's Holman in motion. He gets the pitch. Has some room and got a blocker in front of him. Hurdles a couple of players and gets close to the first down.
Holman again, the back in motion, taking the pitch and sweeping hard to the right side of the field. And great blocking, number 78 out there for Velva-Sawyer. Luke Rogers leading the way. Luke Rogers is a great story, by the way. We're going to talk about him as this day goes on, but Luke Rogers hustling out there, all 195 pounds of him, getting a block on the defender.
3rd down and 1 from the 6. They've got Gemtrude out wide left. Little reversal of direction there for Blake Colby, and down he goes.
Looked like a busted play, Pat. Colby was expecting the running back to go left, and the whole play went right. Got to think that might be on the quarterback's shoulders there, but thrown for a loss. Now that'll bring up an interesting situation. Colby right here is thinking, oh boy, he went to the left, and I probably do. To his credit, though, he gathered himself, tried to make something happen, but that gave a chance for that Harvey defense to start swarming.
That brings up a 4th down now and 4 from the 8.
The Aggies have a good kicker, but we're going to go for a first down here, says Larry Sandy.
They give it to the first man through Weidler, bulling his way for a first down, and he's down to about the 2-yard line. So the gamble pays off after that long gain by Weidler. He winds up keeping the drive alive.
Well, Matt Weidler is a great athlete, and one of the guys that Larry Sandy says has a chance to play at one of the big colleges in North Dakota. Just a great player. He's also a very good defensive player. Speed, size, and toughness, all the things you like in a football player.
Gemtrude again to the left, but they keep it on the ground, and Weidler plows in for a touchdown.
Boy, and how about the push by the Aggies offensive line? They drove that entire defensive line and the linebackers into the backfield. Pat, you and I, the limited athletes we are, I think we could have scored on that play. What a great push by the guys on the line.
So Velva-Sawyer up 6-0 with 9:24 to go. And they line up for the point after. And Matt Hagan puts it through. Our score, Velva-Sawyer 7, Harvey 0. You're watching the North Dakota High School Football Championships on WDAY, WDAZ, KBMY, and KMCY.
It's a whole new world. Kyocera Media Digital Document Imaging from Fireside Office Plus. Kyocera Media, an international leader in connected digital printer and copier technology. And Fireside Office Plus, local people with guaranteed accountability. Digitally correct technology for digitally correct solutions. It's a whole new world. Kyocera Media digital copiers and network printers from Fireside Office Plus.
Congratulations to the Velva-Sawyer football team on reaching the 2001 North Dakota State Championships. Under the coaching of Larry Sandy and Michael Thingstad, your spirit and commitment to the team and hard work brought you to an undefeated season with an 11-0 record. Congratulations, Aggies, from these following local merchants: People's State Bank, Velva; Northern Tier Federal Credit Union, Velva.
Back here at the Fargo Dome, Matt Weidler's 50-yard run on the opening play from scrimmage sets up a Matt Weidler 2-yard touchdown run. And the kick by has put Harvey in a hole here early. Velva-Sawyer on top 7-0 with 9:24 to go first quarter.
Drive starting and ending in Matt Weidler's hands. What a great run that was to start the game. And in a state championship, that first big play, whichever team gets it, really can hang on to momentum for quite a while. It'll be interesting now to see how the Harvey defense responds and how that offensive line comes out, because the Hornets will need to establish some control on the line of scrimmage now to get some momentum back on their sideline.
And for Matt Weidler, his 7th touchdown of the season on the ground. Inside the 15 it comes. And I believe that might be Philip Keller, number 46, on the return for the Harvey Hornets, and they'll start from their own 24-yard line here.
Another look at the touchdown here, Pat. It was just a, oh, that's the opening drive, or opening play, we should say. Weidler running through a couple of arm tackles, turning on the speed, and moving it all the way down deep inside Harvey territory. And then the touchdown to finish it off. Just a great push by that offensive line.
Exit stage right, huh? Harvey on offense now for the first time today, and the pitch comes back to Jason Toso, and down he goes. It's Jarvis Gemtrude right on top of him. Senior linebacker. Blair Sandy is the Harvey quarterback. Toso and Wolf both have more than 1,000 yards rushing. Fall is a legitimate college prospect. Combs, Marthy, Raugust, Arnold, Wenzel, and Heitman are on the line.
What a great play by Jarvis Gemtrude that time, getting in the backfield, stacking up that play for a loss of 5.
And Sandy, the left-hander, puts it out to the far side, and it's complete to number 41, Jason Combs, the junior, who has 5 touchdowns this year. Hagen, Wunderlich, Gelstad, and Rogers are the front four for the Velva-Sawyer Aggies. Nelson, Weidler, Holman, Plessuit, Gemtrude, and Colby are the backs. Gemtrude and Colby the cornerbacks, and Holman actually the free safety. Luke Rogers is a linebacker in there as well.
Larry Sandy says we need to be able to control the Harvey running game with 6 guys. If we have to bring a 7th guy into the box, we're in trouble, because then Harvey's going to throw on us all day long.
3rd and 11, they reverse it. Here is Andrew Fowl. Tried to split the defense, and he can't do it. Number 33 on him was Danny Holman, and 39, Matt Weidler.
Nice job by Weidler and also of Holman to stay at home and not get caught up in direction. The reverse coming back to the wide side of the field, and they strung that play out well. You can see how quick Fall is, though, the quick step he has, but just a nice job of the defensive guys by Velva-Sawyer, staying where they're supposed to be, not getting caught out of position.
4th down now, and punting time here for the Harvey Hornets. It is blocked by Matt Hagen. Inside the 10 it goes. And the Velva-Sawyer Aggies get another break. 1st and goal from the 6-yard line.
Wow, Matt Hagen came in clean. Looked like he beat a block from the right side of the formation. Got a big minute on it. He wasn't sure where the football was for a while. If he would have seen it right away, he might be in the end zone with 6 points. Velva-Sawyer taking it to Harvey on both sides of the football, actually all 3 if you want to count special teams. And Brad Sandy now has got to get his guys' attention and say, fellas, we need to show up. If we're not careful, this could be 14-0 before we know it.
Brent Wunderlich, the man who recovered that ball, and Blair Sandy, the quarterback, was the punter.
Just a great job of not going at the man, going at the football by Hagen. He's looking around for the ball. He knew he had it someplace.
So Blake Colby goes back to work here. On the misdirection, Weidler is tripped up. The first man to hit him was Cody August, and then a couple of his teammates finished the job. And that'll actually lose about a yard.
246-pound defensive end Cody August. Boy, was that a big play. Came in there and stuck the man for no gain. Maybe a loss of 1 pound.
7:02 to go, and it's already 7-0 Velva-Sawyer, and they're threatening to put some more points on the board here. Gemtrude in motion. On play action, Colby to the end zone, and it's batted away. He was looking for Dan Holman, and it was broken up at the defense by Andrew Fall.
Very nice play by Andrew Fall. That may be a decision Colby would like to have back, because Fall was in great position there. Colby tries to fire it in there and thread the needle, throws a nice football, but great coverage on that play. Now the Harvey Hornets are in position for a 3rd down stand.
Nine-man game. Strasburg-Zeeland beating Maddox 36-8, and right here it's 7-0. Velva-Sawyer in the lead. Colby fakes the throw. Now he'll keep it and scramble up to about the 5, bringing up 4th down.
And decision time now for Larry Sandy. Do we go for a 2nd touchdown, or do we go for a field goal here?
Well, Matt Hagen has 7 field goals already, and it looks like he's lining up to try one here. No. Yes.
He kicked a 37-yarder last year for a Dakota Bowl record.
Got a 46-yarder this year. Colby puts it down, and Hagen
no good.
Puts it wide. You heard the officials make the call. It's no good. So a break for the Hornets after that blocked punt. Velva-Sawyer still in a 7-0 lead.
Well, there's a really neat story behind Matt Hagen, and when he was a freshman, he got a back injury. Doctors told him you can play football, but you can't be involved in any contact. Well, what does that leave you? Well, you can be a kicker. That's about all it leaves you. So Larry Sandy said, learn how to do it. Grabbed a bag of balls for about an hour a day after school, got pretty good, and then with 2 games left last year, doctors told him he could get back in there and play, so he's turned into a great kicker and a very good defensive player for the Aggies.
They give to the tailback, Toso. He fumbled the ball, and Velva-Sawyer has it. And I think it was Matt Weidler, number 39, pouncing on that one.
Pat, I don't think the exchange was ever made, and I don't know if the running back ever had control of the football. Jason Toso coming through there, it didn't look like there was a problem with the center to quarterback exchange, and it looked like the ball was laid in there pretty good by the quarterback, Sandy. But for whatever reason, it's a turnover, and boy, the Harvey Hornet defense is going to be in a big test again.
From the 19, and flags are thrown here, and it'll go against Velva-Sawyer.
Well, if you're Larry Sandy now, Pat, you want to be taking advantage of these opportunities because you know the Hornets aren't going to keep turning the football over, and if someone gives you a couple of fortuitous opportunities, you have to make the most of them. And that won't help a 5-yard penalty on first down.
That'll move it all the way back to the 24-yard line. 1st and 15 now with 6:03 to go. That's Holman in motion. And they give to the fullback. Weidler crashing his way up inside the 20 down to the 16-yard line, where he's met by Brian Buxa, among others.
Well, I'm not sure how Larry Sandy finds these guys, but Velva-Sawyer has had a great tradition. Hard running backs that also end up to be pretty good linebackers. That time a little cross buck, kind of a counter play. Weidler takes it up for about 7 yards.
Brent Mache making the initial contact there. 2nd down now and 7 to go. Gemtrude is the man in motion. And Weidler is surrounded in short order. Keith Zimmerman, 51, and Cody Rogers, 57, among those meeting him immediately.
Well, just a nice job of the Harvey defense there, especially the guys along that front line to stand up the blockers and get in the way. Velva-Sawyer looking for a quick hitter there, trying to go up the middle, nothing doing.
Now they send Gemtrude and David Knorr to the right, but Gemtrude comes back in motion to the near side. Colby under pressure. He puts it up, and he had a man there, but coming across to break it up was Andrew Fowle.
And was that a big-time play by Andrew Fowle? That's a touchdown if he doesn't get over there. Came off of the man that he had in coverage and got over there just in time to knock the ball away. Watch this, Blake Colby back to pass, and Harvey's Luke Heitman had a chance to get him, kind of falls down. Colby with a nice throw in there, and this looks like a touchdown, but coming out of nowhere is Andrew Fowle to knock that away. Wow, what a big play. That's a huge tide turner here in the first quarter.
David Knorr was all set to reel it in, and he said, where did that guy come from? 35-yard field goal attempt, and a big rush there, and it will be short.
I think it was partially blocked, Pat.
They had enough guys around him.
The Aggies are using a tee to kick, which is legal to do that. You'll see a lot of teams just go right off the carpet, and it takes just a fraction of a second longer to get that ball set down properly on the tee. And it looks like the Harvey Hornets have said, well, you can have that extra second, but we're going to have someone right there when you kick it. They've been able to get good pressure on the 2 kicks so far.
Here's another look. And it might have been number 15 there, Brian Buxa. Brad Sandy has to feel very fortunate here.
And now you want to give it to your offensive line and say, guys, we need to go out and start knocking some people around and establish something on the ground here, because the last thing you want right now is for your defense to be back on the field anytime soon. The Hornet D has spent a lot of time on the field here in the first quarter, and it's up to the offense now. The defense has saved their tails a couple of times, I guess you could say.
Kyle Wolf there, and for the 2nd straight game, we've got minus yardage on the rushing side. They send it out here to Brent Bachmeyer, and that's a good gain. It'll be 2nd and 1. from the 29.
It's a quick screen. Some call it a bubble screen. Again, one receiver out there. A couple of receivers come quickly to block early. It's a lateral pass right along the line of scrimmage. And if you can get that pass completed quickly and your guys downfield block well, that's usually good for a good short gain.
Bachmeier, just a sophomore. Wolf is the fullback here. And they give it to Kyle Wolf. And he's got the first down up to the 33-yard line, and they'll move the chains here with 3:28 left.
And for the first time, the Harvey fans have something really to get fired up at. And you can see the offensive line, the running backs, everybody on that Hornet offense now just has a little bit of wind at its back. So see if the Hornets decide to keep it on the ground or if they decide to use that quick strike offense here on first down.
Two receivers right and one to the left here for Blair Sandy. But he'll keep it on the ground here as Wolf bounces off the first wave, and his second effort brings him up to about the 39-yard line, so a gain of about 6 on that play.
Now the 200-pound senior found tough sledding early on, but did a nice job of being aware, not expecting to go down. So many times you'll see that a young man kind of stacked up at the line of scrimmage loses his balance. And it makes it easy for even an arm tackle to bring him down. But Wolf that time kept his feet under him, kept good balance, was able to squirt out there and pick up a nice gain on first down.
Foul is left, Schilling and Combs to the right, but they give to Wolf again. And he is greeted by about 4 white-shirted Velva Aggie defenders.
Nice timing on that center to fullback exchange. That hit so quickly that there's no room for any error there. That ball has to be there right away in order for the fullback to get that ball and plow forward.
Third down and less than a yard. Toso, the tailback behind Wolf, and it's Wolf again. And he's got the first down to the 45-yard line. So Harvey grinding it out here late in the first quarter.
That Harvey offensive line now starting to get a little bit of separation between the Aggie D-line and the line of scrimmage. That time nothing fancy about that 3-play sequence, just Wolf, Wolf, and Wolf. Right up the middle and good for a first down.
Are you trying to say they're crying wolf?
I suppose I had that coming after all the Clippers stuff a while ago.
Thank you for not reacting to that.
Oh, I did. I just didn't say anything.
You didn't say anything. Here's going deep, looking for Schilling, and it's just out of his reach. Ross Schilling was there, but well guarded by linebacker John Plasuk.
One of the toughest positions in football at any level is that cornerback position. And Plasuk listed as kind of that outside linebacker slash free safety, or strong safety kind of player. And that time had good coverage, but it's so hard to know exactly where the ball is at. And this time you'll see that Plasuk turning around at the last minute, but by that time he didn't really have the ability to make a play on the ball because it was to the receiver. Fortunately for Velva-Sawyer, unfortunately for Harvey, just a bit overthrown.
Well, if Schilling had caught that would have ruined his streak. He's got 2 receptions, both for touchdowns. They throw it out here to Jason Toso, and he gets back to the line of scrimmage before Matt Hagan, the man we were talking about, the kicker for the Aggies, hauls him down.
Boy, was that a great play by Hagan, too. If he doesn't get over there, that play goes for a big gain. Hagan quick from that end spot to get there and make a nice open field tackle. Watch this screen. It's set up well. There's a blocker out front. The only thing that can slow that play up is a guy coming from the D-line spot behind the play. That's exactly what Matt Hagan did. A great job of hustle by that young man.
Harvey's looking at 3rd and 10 now, or at least a long 9. Combs in motion on play action. Sandy gets it away to Combs, and he'll be getting a first down here. They'll mark him across the 45, just shy of the 44, as Harvey gets into Aggie territory.
So many times you'll see with a coach's son, they seem to do all the little things well. Watch the ball fake here right now. Kind of hides it back there, scrambles out, little bootleg left, has a couple options to throw to, makes a nice decision, open for the first down. And we should mention a good job of grabbing the football and hanging on to it by Jason Combs, because the defense was there right away.
Danny Holman defending. 20 seconds left. Sandy going across to Andrew Fall, and he is thrown down to the turf hard by David Knorr, but they'll mark his progress here at the 41-yard line, bringing up second down.
Southpaw throwing it to his right that time. Fall coming back, almost puts the knee down there, and I guess it wouldn't have mattered too much. That's where the tackle was made, so that's where the play ends.
After one quarter, it's Velva-Sawyer 7 and Harvey nothing. You are watching the North Dakota High School Football Championships on WDAZ, WDAY, KBMY, and KMCY.
An ABC premiere event.
Some private in the 101st lost 3 of his brothers, and he's got a ticket home.
The danger for 8 men.
It's not going to be easy finding one particular soldier in the whole damn war.
Was saving one. Tom Hanks.
That's my mission.
Ed Burns and Matt Damon in a film by Steven Spielberg, presented uncut.
Ryan!
The network television premiere of Saving Private Ryan, Sunday at 8, 7 Central on ABC. Viewer discretion is strongly advised.
If you think Wells Fargo is only checking accounts, you're not seeing the whole picture. Wells Fargo Portfolio Management Account, mutual funds, annuities, stocks and bonds. Talk to one of our representatives about how to start reaching your goals today. Now you get the picture. Wells Fargo, the next stage.
On the Merit Care Sports Medicine scoreboard, Velva-Sawyer has a 7-0 lead on Harvey after one quarter. Our officials today, by the way, all from Fargo: Jerry Stigman, Dwayne Silseth, Jeff Miller, Dan Wynn, and Dan Nat. I hope we're saying that right, G-N-A-D-T. Harvey starts the second quarter on the ground. It'll be Kyle Wolf. He'll be very close to a first down, maybe less than a yard shy.
Well, he is a big kid, and when he gets those legs moving, hits that hole, the line of scrimmage with some speed, that's awfully tough for a defensive player to bring down. You need a couple guys there because the offensive player has a running start.
We'll check in with Eric Whitman after this play downstairs. 3rd and 1. And Wolf again has the first down and struggles for a couple of yards to keep the drive going. Let's go down to Eric.
I was going to say, that's going to set up play action here real soon for the Hornets.
Eric?
Thanks, guys. Listening to Brad Sandy in the huddle, he wants his guys to calm down. He thinks they're a little bit too excited, and they're going to keep it on the ground and keep pounding away. That's the way he wants his offense to go. Back to you guys.
That's a great way to harness that excitement. If you've got that nervous energy, you might as well go hit somebody. It's easier to run those plays than the timing patterns and the pass plays. If your guys are jacked up, let them run the ball.
Trying to cut in is Jason Toso. Picks up about 1 yard. And Luke Rogers, number 78, the senior linebacker, making that stop.
Real nice job slipping a block. Watch this. This play is set up well to the outside, and also in there helping out was Matt Weidler. Would have been there if Luke Rogers would have been able to finish him off.
So it'll be 2nd long 9 here for the Harvey Hornets. 12-0 against Velva-Sawyer, 11-0. Combs in motion. On play action, Sandy is in trouble. Big trouble as Brent Wunderlich takes him down, helped by a couple of teammates, but the pressure was on right from the snap.
Yeah, Sandy wanted to roll left and then throw back right, but watch the good job here of getting some pressure in by the Velva-Sawyer defensive line. The play was not open. Good coverage in the secondary, and Sandy was forced to just make something of it, put his head down and try to get back to the line of scrimmage.
Brent Wunderlich, 230-pound senior. 3rd and 11 now for Harvey. And Sandy has Combs on the right side. It's complete at the first down marker. Well, the lefty not afraid to go back across the grain, and it will be a first down for the Hornets.
Very nice pass. When you see those throws against the grain and they hang up there for a little bit, you start to worry a little bit as a fan. If the defender can get there, those can go back a long way. And that time, very good coverage by Velva-Sawyer. I believe that was Gemtrude again, but just a real good throw and a nice catch. And a good job of awareness by the receiver, where to run his route, get close to the first down stick.
3 receivers set here for Blair Sandy. Give us to the fullback, Wolf. He's got room and plows over a man as he crosses the 15-yard line. That was Dan Holman who finally stopped him by just getting in front of him.
Well, you want to know what kind of a kid Kyle Wolf is. You saw it on that play. There was going to be nothing fancy here. He wasn't going to make anybody miss. He was just going to run over somebody. That's a linebacker mentality in the backfield, and it's a great gain, and also it kind of gets the team fired up to see you drop the shoulder and plow into a guy at the end of the play.
Foul is to the left, but they keep it on the ground with Wolf. Churning his way up to about the 10-yard line for a first down. It'll be just shy of the 10. Brad Sandy, you know, we talked about Velva-Sawyer saying we never expected to be here. Nobody thought we'd get here. Harvey did expect to be here. They had a lot of guys back, 13 seniors from last year's team, and Brad thought that there's more pressure in the semifinal game than the championship game, just because everybody wants to get to Fargo. Sandy giving to Toso, and he takes a big shot from Weidler as he gets up close to the 5. They'll mark him down at the 7. Toso coming in with 1,058 yards on the ground.
Well, the Hornets right now just able to do damage running the ball. Nothing real tricky so far, but those quick hitters seem to be working, and the offensive line able to control the line of scrimmage.
It's 2nd and 7. It's not a 2nd and goal. The first down marker is actually just shy of the goal line. Combs is in motion. They throw back to Combs for a touchdown. Jason Combs gets Harvey on the board here with 7:30 to go in the second quarter.
Oh, what a nice play by the Harvey Hornets. That time the defense expecting Combs to go to the outside as he comes in motion through the backfield. Cut that play out toward the boundary. Well, he just made a little quick jab step right, cut it inside, and he was wide open. Watch this, and Velva coming with the blitz, and it just worked out perfectly. Great play call and great timing. Velva-Sawyer brought the inside linebackers looking for some sort of a pass, but they weren't looking for that pass.
Sandy's 25th touchdown pass of the year, and the 6th to Combs. And they'll try for 2. And there are plenty of flags, and they're going against Harvey here for an illegal procedure call.
Well, that's one of the few times as a coach you're thankful for a penalty, because that play was going to go for nothing because there was some confusion on the snap count, I believe, between center and quarterback. The ball fell to the floor, but the referees said it was an illegal motion, so the Hornets will get another chance at the 2-point conversion.
Harvey is living right today. They had a punt blocked. A field goal try was wide by Velva-Sawyer after that. They fumbled on their first play of their next position, and then a field goal try was blocked by Buxa. So a long 2-point conversion try here, and they throw it to Fall for the 2-point conversion. Andrew Fall threading the needle there with 2 guys nearby, and Harvey takes an 8-7 lead.
Boy, was that throw any good or what? The coverage was super. Took a perfect pass and a speedy receiver, and the Hornets had them both on that play.
So it's Harvey 8, Velva-Sawyer 7. You're watching the North Dakota High School Football Championships on WDAY, WDAZ, KBMY, and KMCY.
In North Dakota, pride and performance go hand in hand. It's forming unspoken friendships. It's trusting neighbors, supporting community. And for 70 years, it's how Cenex has been doing business in North Dakota. You'll always receive high-quality, dependable, clean guard gasolines, backed by the performance promise. You've got our word on it. Cenex Clean Guard gasolines, where pride and performance meet. Only at your local Cenex and Pride convenience store.
With winter upon us, do you trust your car to keep you going? The Firestone store, your Master Care Car Center, assures you peak performance with Sun Engine Diagnostics. Firestone ASC certified master technicians can locate virtually any cause for problems from hard starting to poor fuel economy. The customer-friendly printout will show you exactly what tests were performed and what is recommended to get you back on the road with safety and confidence. For all your car care needs, satisfaction is guaranteed at the Firestone store, South 7th, just east of Kirkwood Mall.
Here's the Blair Sandy to Jason Combs touchdown pass again, Steve.
Yeah, a quick hitting play and a good thing that time because Velva-Sawyer actually guessed right. They were looking for a pass and they got one, but unfortunately for the Aggies, they found a receiver in a position they weren't expecting. Here's a two-point conversion. Blair Sandy with a great pass. Look at how good the coverage is and how good the pass is.
And that, after the penalty, they still converted the two-point try, and that put Harvey into the 8-7 lead. It now holds. Kicking off Kelly Marthy, and it bounces on the ground off an Aggie player. They're scrambling after it. It's still loose. And Harvey says they have it, and the officials say yes, they do. It appeared to be Philip Keller, number 46, coming up with that ball.
However in the world the Aggies weren't able to fall on this ball, I'll have no idea. Ball hit Marthy in the helmet, and one of the Aggies has a chance right there. Another has a chance here. It slipped out, and the Hornets' pursuit catches up in time.
Gjelstad, then Kittleson, then Plasuk. Now the brakes are going Harvey's way here. Wow.
And watch for the Hornets now to look for something to the end zone. I think you follow up a big special teams play with a shot to the end zone, try to create some instant momentum.
And sure enough, Sandy to the end zone. Incomplete. He had Combs diving for it, but it did not work.
Boy, was that almost the prettiest play you've seen. Combs that time on a streak pattern, just a vertical route straight down the field. Sandy delivers the ball perfectly, but just maybe a hair too far. Combs dove for it and thought he had it, but you got to have control when you come down, and the official said he didn't quite have enough of it.
Nope,
just slipped through his arms, and a good call. But I like the idea, Pat. You get a team on its heels, and you've just thrown a great pass by a quarterback that seems to be gaining confidence. Why not go for it again?
That was the Rob Bollinger philosophy, too, when the offensive coordinator at UND. That's Kyle Wolf on the ground for a few, bringing up third down at about 7.
Brad Sandy will tell you that this past summer he knew that he had something pretty good in the passing game. The Hornets went to a team football camp in Dickinson where the Hornets went up against AA and AAA teams in their pass defense, kind of those 7-on-7 passing camp deals. He says we played very well against the best defenses in the state, so we knew that we had something good offensively coming into this season.
Combs is the motion man on play action. Sandy gets it away as he was being hit, and it falls incomplete. Matt Kittleson, a freshman, in to apply the pressure. Sandy getting up.
I wonder if he didn't whack his hand on a helmet coming in or something. He's trying to shake that thing off. There was good pressure here, and he's made some good throws. This one may be well advised just to tuck this one in and eat that ball, because he threw it out in very dangerous territory, kind of a fluttering pass there, but a real nice play by the Velva-Sawyer defense to get some heat on the quarterback and force the issue.
Timeout Harvey. The Hornets lead by 1. You're watching the North Dakota High School Football Championships on WDAY, WDAZ, KBMY, and KMCY.
Digital document imaging, a world of difference, from Kyocera Media and Fireside Office Plus. Technically superior network printers, digital networkable copiers, Fireside Office Plus, local people for digitally correct business solutions, solutions for greater productivity, a higher level of service, lower overall costs. Digital document imaging, a world of difference, from Kyocera Media and Fireside Office Plus.
Congratulations to the Velva-Sawyer football team on reaching the 2001 North Dakota State Championships. Under the coaching of Larry Sandy and Michael Thingstad, your spirit and commitment to the team and hard work brought you to an undefeated season with an 11-0 record. Congratulations, Aggies, from these following local merchants: People's State Bank, Velva; Northern Tier Federal Credit Union, Velva.
Well, watch Matt Kittleson, number 24, the freshman, come in and lay a hit on Blair Sandy, and kind of got him in that midsection area.
Yes.
Just kind of knocked the wind out of the quarterback, but looks like he's doing all right.
Sandy's back out there, looking to cash in. He's got a man, and it goes right through his hands.
I think that was Combs again.
Jason Combs, it was indeed.
Well, Plasuk, again, we talked about it a minute ago, kind of lost track of the football, and it happened again there on that play, and the Aggies are very lucky because Combs had a very good shot at this football. Plasuk running with the receiver, and Combs just looks back for it, and it goes right through his hands, and boy, he's going to see that one a couple of times in his sleep tonight.
Oh.
Right there.
He got tripped up a little bit there by his own feet, but that was a fourth down play, so the ball goes over now. Velva-Sawyer has it from the Aggie 20. Gemtrude in motion. He's got the ball, trying to follow Weidler, and very little room develops there. He gets maybe 1.5 yards, a couple yards.
What an entertaining first half we've had, Pat. Lots of twists and turns and lots of big plays and narrow misses. All the things you want in a championship game.
The soap opera fans should be happy. We've got plenty of suspense and excitement today. And an official's timeout here. And they're taking care of, looks like Jason Toso of Harvey here on the near sidelines getting some work done.
They're taping up his sock, and you know how critical an issue that can be. No, it looks like the knee pad there, trying to get it in line.
Pitching way back to Holman, following a couple of blockers and getting across the 25, and a nice gain, but he was surrounded pretty quickly.
This
was
Harvey,
a long pitch.
Yeah, it sure was. Kind of caught the man coming in motion. We talked about that out of the double wing. You'll see a lot of that. And the Harvey defense, though, quick to react on that play. And they look like a different bunch right now than we saw in those first couple possessions.
52, Luke Heitman among the Hornets in on the play. So it's 3rd down and 5. They'll send Gemtrude out to the right. And Weidler, the lone setback. Weidler can't find any room as look at the Hornets swarm in on him.
Well, the Hornets were there, but I'm going to tell you, Pat, it took about 6 of them to bring that guy down. Weidler running hard, keeping his balance, trying to find some room, but a good job of pursuit by the Hornet defense. The interior of the line, tough to really even pick out one guy.
Zimmerman in there, Lesmeister in there, et al. And now Kyle Wolf having some work done. Foul takes the punt. We've got a penalty flag thrown. And play is blown dead at the 42-yard line.
And anytime you get young Fall returning punts, there could be some highlights. He's taken 5 back the distance this year. You have a block in the back, I think, Pat, here on the near sideline. Clip it'll be called. Andrew Fall, punt return touchdowns, nominated as the region's top senior. He's a leading scorer on this team. As we said, 5 punt return touchdowns this year, and Coach Sandy says that he could definitely be a Division II player at either North Dakota State or University of North Dakota.
He is a cousin to the Fall brothers
Chad.
of Powers Lake that did play at UND, Chad and oh gosh.
Well, Chad's the only one I'm going to come up with.
Oh, he's going to kill me. I'll think of it. I'll think of it, as he said as he pulls out his UND media guide. Scott, forgive me, Scott. 4 receiver spread here. Sandy with a lot of room, and he's looking along for Fall. Oh, right through his hands.
Well, Blair Sandy's been on the money a lot today, but if he's on the money with that one, it goes for 6 points for the Hornets. That time Fall, not sure what the pattern was, if he broke off the original pattern, but it looked like he was running a fly route on the left sideline, and they kind of cut it back toward the middle of the field. Good communication between quarterback and receiver. Either that or it was just a real deep square in or something like that, but as you can see, he had to step on a couple of defenders, and with that kind of speed, if he catches it in the open field, nobody's going to catch him from behind.
So 2nd and 10 here. And they'll give it to Wolf for a few. Weidler on top of him. And 71, Paul Gelstead on the bottom. 3rd down and 8 coming up here for Brad Sandy, 4th-year coach of the Harvey Hornets.
Brad says, we always knew we were going to be able to throw the ball. We did it well early in the year, but our run game hasn't come around until about the last half of the season.
They throw it out in the right flat to Toso, and reading that one well is Luke Rogers, and that'll bring up a 4th down call here for Harvey.
Well, Luke Rogers is a great story. He had mono after his freshman year, and the sophomore year he came in about the same weight, and coaches said, we're going to need you to be a lineman for us, and he wanted to be a running back, which is a position he played in junior high. Got pneumonia after his sophomore year. In his junior year, he had a calf injury and had some swelling in the calf. Coach says he's 200 pounds right now, but he could have easily been 235 or 240 if it had not been for all the things that beset him in his high school career.
Blair Sandy gets this punt away, and Blake Colby has it at his 25-yard line and tripped up quickly by the Harvey defender.
I believe that was Brett Maché in on the stop.
So we'll take a break here with 3:06 to go. It's 8-7 Harvey, and you're watching Dakota High School football on WDAY, WDAZ, KBMY, and KMCY.
Remember last year's high fossil fuel prices and how much you paid to heat your home? Were you in over your head? This year, fuel prices may not be quite as high. Feeling comfortable yet? How long before you make a change? Controlled electric heating rates haven't gone up in more than 15 years. No surprises, low rates. That's comfort you can live with.
Clean, comfortable, affordable heat with electricity from Otter Tail Power Company.
Gather round with the family there. Gonna eat my share. It's a fine day.
Now Dodge is giving you something special to take home for the holidays. The security of 7-year or 100,000-mile powertrain protection on any new Dodge vehicle. Plus, through November 19th, 0% APR on select 2002 models.
It's good to see you, Dad. No thanks. It gives me gas.
3:06 left until halftime here. We're in the state Class A championship game, and Harvey has an 8-7 lead on Velva-Sawyer, the defending champ. Velva-Sawyer with the ball. 1st and 10 from its own 28. Colby with the pitch back. Here's Dan Holman. Picks up one block, has some room, and gets up close to the 40-yard line. And this will be, it appears to be a 1st down. And it is.
Kind of an interesting looking play that time, almost what you might call a delayed pitch, kind of jab stepped inside as if he was going to hand it on kind of an inside counter play. Pitched it out to Holman, who did a nice job running the ball upfield, getting a Velva-Sawyer 1st down.
Brent Wunderlich with the nice block there. Gemtrude in motion. A long count. The give to Weidler, plowing ahead, and a big gain on 1st down for Weidler. He'll be about 2 yards shy of the 1st down. Weidler made an impact right away in this game, in case you're just tuning in. A 50-yard run on the first play from scrimmage to set up a touchdown. And Weidler took that in for a 2-yard touchdown. And that's what the Aggies have on the board now. They trail 8-7. Gemtrude again in motion. Weidler forging ahead. gets the first down and gets past midfield. And Velva-Sawyer has a nice little drive going here just before halftime.
Well, was that the most inauspicious looking 5-yard run you've ever? Didn't look like there was any room there at all, but the pile just kept moving left to right as we're looking at it, and all of a sudden you take a look and Matt Weidler's got 68 rushing yards and a touchdown.
It's like that old vibrating tabletop football game. The whole, all those little guys just moving forward and en masse.
How was that again? What do they do?
I used to have one of those. Colby going deep. Oh, and it's almost intercepted by Kelly Lesmeister. He was looking for Jarvis Gemtrude, but Lesmeister breaks it up.
Boy, what a great job that time by Kelly Lesmeister.
We got a flag down.
Colby throws it deep. The coverage is great. The entire play, really just Colby hoping that the receiver could make a play on it. It bounced around and off of his shoulder pads and his helmet, I think. He had a couple chances to snag it, but falling backwards, not able to get the handle. Oh, yeah, he had a couple chances. He'd love to have another shot at that one.
But a holding call will move it back, all the way back to the 36-yard line. They have to get to the 39 of Harvey for the first down. So first and very, very long with Weidler. Line behind Colby. On the misdirection, it's Gemtrude trying to come across. Nope, no fumble, they say. But it looks like he lost a yard there, as Harvey read that one well.
Yeah, Cody Rogus in particular really read that play well. Coming from the left defensive end spot, just stood his ground. Really forced that play inside, and as a defender on the corner, that's what you want to do. You do have help in the sideline. That's an extra defender as well. But generally speaking, you're going to have more help from the inside. And that time, Rogus just stood his ground, got his way upfield, and forced the running back to cut it back inside where the inside players could come through and help in the linebacking positions.
2nd and 26. Gemtrude in motion. And here's Colby under pressure, takes a big hit and gets the pass away to Dan Holman. But somebody really laid into him, and I think it was number 64, Kelly Marthy.
Yeah, Kelly Marthy came from his defensive line spot and just planted Blake Colby as he got that ball away. But a nice job by the Velva-Sawyer quarterback. Watch him come here, getting past number 78. Gives a big shot to the quarterback, but Holman makes a nice play to catch and hang on because the tackle was immediate.
So now it'll be 3rd down from the 45. 3rd down and 16, we'll call it. And they give to Weidler, and look at him go up to the 45. About 6 yards shy of the first down, but that'll be the last play of the half. So it's 8-7. Harvey leading Velva-Sawyer in a rather interesting first half, full of opportunities for either team. But Velva-Sawyer missing a couple of good chances in the first quarter. After blocking a punt, a field goal try was wide, then recovering a fumble and having a field goal attempt blocked.
Yeah, really a game of momentum shifts, Pat. Early on, everything was going Velva-Sawyer's way. The turnovers, the field position was all in their favor. Then Harvey came back and made a good surge, and then Velva-Sawyer kind of turned the tide, and I think you'd say the momentum and the score, everything's pretty even after one half of play.
Let's check in with Eric on the Harvey sideline.
Thanks, guys. I got Hornets head coach Brad Sandy. And Brad, obviously you guys got to be feeling pretty lucky you got a 1-point lead instead of being down 21-8.
I got to remember, football game's 48 minutes long right now, and that's what we've talked to our kids about, and we told them this is a 48-minute football game. We came out, and I think we had some nervous jitters there, and we fell apart on a couple of plays, but we regrouped. This team has been like this all year long, and when our back is against the wall, we seem to play best. So, you know, we still got 24 minutes of football out here, and as I look at the scoreboard, I think we are ahead. So, any early changes in mind for the second half? We just got to get organized a little bit better, make sure we got our kids up front knowing what's going on, and we'll be okay. We've got to catch the ball when we get it thrown to us too.
All right, thank you very much. Coach Brad Sandy, guys, back up to you.
Thanks, Eric. Matt Weidler with a 2-yard touchdown run for Velva-Sawyer in the first quarter. And Harvey scoring in the second quarter on Sandy's 7-yard pass to Jason Combs, plus the 2-point conversion. It's 8-7 Harvey over Velva-Sawyer. And our halftime coverage continues. Stay with us. You're watching the North Dakota High School Football Championships live on WDAY, WDAZ, KBMY, and KMCY.
Strong hands to guide you.
You're never alone with Farmers Union Insurance. Your local agent can help you develop a life insurance plan that will take care of the many financial requirements your family may face, from estate planning to education for your children to retirement income.
Safe in the feeling, you're never alone.
Farmers Union Insurance. Protect your family from financial uncertainty.
An ABC premier event.
Some private in the 101st lost 3 of his brothers and he's got a ticket home.
The greatest danger for 8 men.
It's not going to be easy finding one particular soldier in the whole damn war.
Was saving 1. Tom Hanks.
That's my mission.
Ed Burns and Matt Damon. Presented uncut. The network premiere of Saving Private Ryan, Sunday, November 11th, 7 Central on ABC. Viewer discretion is strongly advised.
On the next Stargate SG-1.
You must all flee. It comes this way.
What does? 2 civilizations stake a claim to a precious world.
The Incarans must leave or they will die.
Only one can survive.
We're not going to sit around and watch these people get slaughtered. And you're willing to blow up that ship to do Give me another choice.
Now, O'Neill must make the toughest decision of his career.
Once you detonate the reactor, there's no turning back.
Richard Dean Anderson stars on the next Stargate SG-1.
Saturday on KBMY, KMCY.
Welcome back to the Dakota Bowl 2001. We right now have Velva trailing Harvey 8-7. Well, this game we knew coming in was going to be a family feud, but little did we know that the parents of both Brad and Larry Sandy, the opposing head coaches, were going to be here, and here they are. Jack and Helen, who came all the way down from West Hope to watch this game. First of all, let me ask you your reaction, Jack, about when you found out that your sons were going to be facing each other for the single-A championship.
I'm real proud of them. They both do a great job. And they're both in 2 great tradition football cities. Velva and Harvey, always been great football programs.
When you found out that they were coming down here, I mean, I know that you guys obviously root for both teams, but Helen, who do you find yourself trying to basically root for? This has got to be a tough decision for you, isn't it?
Well, we're rooting for Blair, the grandson. We rooted for the other boys. Now it's time for the grandson.
Let me ask you this. As far as the grandparents are concerned, did you ever, in your wildest dreams, imagine that you could see your 2 sons, one coaching state championship possibility teams, but 2 facing each other? Helen?
Yes, we've been waiting for it the last few years, and it's not fun either.
What about you, Jack?
Yeah, it's been a possibility, I guess, every year. And look at the roster. Might be right back here next year.
Obviously, everybody is talking about Blair. He's the leader of the offensive team for the Hornets. As grandparents, you're very proud of him, obviously, but when you look at him on the field, does it amaze you the way he sort of controls this team?
Yeah, much. Yeah, very much so, yeah. He does tremendous, I figure. I watched him when he was a sophomore. It was unreal. I figured he'd be nervous, but he never showed any signs. Always there to lead them.
As far as the family, I know talking to your sons early before these games, they talked about when growing up, there was huge athletic battles in the backyard. Where does that come from, the athletic drive? Is that in your blood as well, Helen?
Yeah, it is. It's both the Sandys and my family. We are all sportsmen, and kids are always active and everything. So grandsons and granddaughters get into it too, and they're in the backyard.
All right, thank you very much for joining us. Enjoy the second half.
We will.
We'll have more coming up. Harvey leads Velva-Sawyer right now 8-7. More from the 2001 Dakota Bowl here on WDAY, WDAZ, KVMY, and KMCY.
In North Dakota, pride and performance go hand in hand. It's forming unspoken friendships. It's trusting neighbors, supporting community. And for 70 years, it's how Cenex has been doing business in North Dakota. You'll always receive high-quality, dependable Clean Guard gasolines, backed by the Cenex Performance Promise. You've got our word on it. Cenex Clean Guard gasolines, where pride and performance meet. Only at your local Cenex and Pride convenience store.
Vern Halter dreams big. He wants to win the Iditarod, Alaska's last great race. He knows the right equipment, hard work, and a well-trained team of dogs are bringing that dream closer all the time. You have dreams too, and Wells Fargo wants to help you reach them. Each year, we award Wells Fargo Community Fund scholarships to students like you who'll be attending colleges or universities in their home state.
So if college is something you've dreamed about, let Wells Fargo help bring your dreams a little closer.
Pick up a scholarship application today at your local Wells Fargo store and dream big.
This is the KBMY, KMCY Community Calendar. Ruth Meyer's hospitality staff will be spending 24 hours in cardboard boxes on the lawns of McCabe Methodist Church in Bismarck, November 15th and 16th from noon to noon during Hunger and Homeless Awareness Week. Please bring donations to McCabe or call in pledges at 222-2108. This has been Community Calendar by 7277 Bismarck, North Dakota.
It's the Class A championship game, and we're at halftime. Harvey ahead of the defending champions from Velva-Sawyer, 8-7. And here's how we got started. The first play from scrimmage for Velva-Sawyer is a 50-yard gain for Matt Weidler.
Well, Matt Weidler found some room to the left side, and you can see how strong he is. The Hornets trying hard to get in position for the tackle, but able just to shake anything that's an arm or a shoulder in there, just a strong, fast back, and really got Velva-Sawyer into scoring position and got momentum on their side right away.
Andrew Fall, the one saving the touchdown, and then Weidler just follows the line, just student body forward, I guess, for the 2-yard touchdown run, 7-0, and then in the second quarter, Blair Sandy with a 7-yard toss to Jason Combs.
It's a nice play, just kind of caught the right defense at the right time, and Velva-Sawyer almost made a play on the quarterback, but Blair Sandy able to get it away just in time.
And a thread-the-needle pass to Fowl for the 2-point conversion has Harvey ahead 8-7. And as we look at the stats here, Velva-Sawyer with 120 yards of total offense and 110 of those on the ground. Not surprising given their style. Harvey making a comeback in the rushing column after starting out in the minus category. But still the numbers are fairly reflective of the tightness and lowness, I guess, of the score.
Well, I think the numbers that you see from the Harvey Hornets tend to tell the story of their balance, and now able to throw the ball for a little bit of yardage. And the Hornets were just an eyelash away from having a lot better numbers on those passing yardages, because a pass was dropped that would have been a touchdown and probably about a 30-yard play, and then a long pass was just a bit underthrown by the quarterback, and those two things could have made those numbers look awfully impressive for the Harvey Hornets. And Velva, you just get a lot of straight ahead rushing, and they've been able to do it on the ground, and a pass here and there. Blake Colby's been effective when called on. And the big numbers there, I think, for Harvey, 2 turnovers, but able to rally from those and still have an 8-7 halftime lead.
Matt Weidler, the leading rusher for Velva-Sawyer, 9 carries for 85 yards, and of course 50 of those yards came on the very first carry. Holman, 5 carries for 24 yards. Colby is just 1 of 4 passing for 10 yards, and that was a toss to Holman. For Harvey, Blair Sandy 8 of 13 through the air for 48 yards and a touchdown to Jason Combs, who has 4 catches, 37 yards. Toso 2 catches for 4 yards. Bachmeyer 1 catch for 7 yards, and Fall a catch for 4 yards. Rushing, it's Wolf, Kyle Wolf leading Harvey with 37 yards on 16 carries. Toso yards on 2 carries. Fall was carried once for 5 yards. And Velva-Sawyer certainly had chances to pad that lead in the latter stages of the first quarter. They blocked a punt and had the ball at the Harvey 6, but put a field goal try wide with 6:09 remaining. And then Toso fumbled on Harvey's first play of the next series at the Harvey 19, and the field goal by Velva-Sawyer was blocked by Buxa, so it could be a different story indeed. So it's a 1-point lead for Harvey here, and don't forget, we invite you to tune in tomorrow at high noon. We'll be back on the air live from the Fargo Dome for the Class AA Championship. Dickinson Trinity against Hazen. Trinity, one of the most amazing stories in the history of North Dakota football. Only 8 points allowed this season. And then at about 2:45, we'll finish high school football in North Dakota with the AAA title game pitting Fargo South against Bismarck.
Some really great storylines on both of those games. I think the only team that believes that Hazen has a chance tomorrow is Hazen. They're about the only bunch of people that think they can do it, but Todd Johnson says we can, and we're coming there to win. We're not coming there to play a good game and take a moral victory home.
Final score in that 9-man game was Strasburg-Zeeland 36 and Maddock 8 earlier today, as Strasburg-Zeeland took command in the second half. Actually, the third quarter told the tale there. Strasburg-Zeeland getting a 2-yard touchdown run after a fumble by Maddock at their own 36-yard line, and then just 19 seconds after the Chance Schaffner TD, Joey Baumgartner picked off a Lindgren pass and brought it back 40 yards for a touchdown. 16 points in just 19 seconds, and then Kraft added a 1-yard TD late in the game for final emphasis, and that was the end of the 9-man season. We're in the latter stages of halftime here, and neither team has come back on the field with 1:25 on the clock, so
maybe it's over. Maybe we're done.
Can we go home? Is it time for Judge Judy? Did you carry that Major League Baseball announcement by Bud Selig the other day, live on your air? About the
press conference deal?
Yeah.
We had it live on radio.
Oh, we carried it live on the air on DAZ, and we got calls from people wanting Judge Judy back on the air. So, so much for the Twins possibly folding. We've got to see Judge Judy, right?
You can't please everybody, huh? Well, we talked about great storylines. I think there's some very interesting ones in that AAA final set for tomorrow as well. Bismarck and Fargo South. A lot of times in a championship game, you have a team that'll be part of the mix that maybe is a little bit of a surprise, and kind of say it takes maybe a quarter and a half for them to really believe that they belong there. But you will not see that tomorrow between Bismarck and Fargo South. Both teams are extremely confident. Fargo North beat Bismarck last year in the state championship game. And so the Demons really have been working all off season to get ready for this coming football season, and they are undefeated. Fargo South has been undefeated and ranked #1 really all year in the AAA rankings, and the Bruins believe that they've got a very good team, and they do. So we're expecting a fantastic game, and Bismarck and Fargo South, two communities that really support their teams, and so we're expecting not only a great game but a real good crowd here tomorrow as well.
Chatting with Grand Forks Red River coach Paul Peterson earlier in the week, and he faced both of those teams late in the season, and he predicts that South will win just because they are so deep. Let's go down to Eric Widman.
Thanks, guys. I got Larry Sandy here, Aggies head coach. And Larry, your impression of the first half, the way your guys played?
Well,
Well, we had some breaks early on that we didn't capitalize on, and that hurt us, you know, but overall, it's, you know, the two teams are going at it pretty good right now. There's a big battle going on up front, and, you know, in the second half, whichever team probably gets the better push up front is going to end up being the win in this game.
Can we expect any different plays or different opportunities here in the second half?
Well, no, I think we're going to keep running our offense, and, you know, hopefully we can do a few things. They're coming pretty hard, putting a lot of people in the box, and, you know, it's tough to run against that, so we'll see what we can do.
All right, thank you very much. Good luck in the second half. Guys, back up to you.
Thank you, Eric Widman.
The third quarter of a football game is always so interesting after both coaching staffs have a chance to talk about the first half and plan some strategy for the second half. And you see it so many times, a team that can run awfully well will have an opponent stack the line of scrimmage and say, okay, if you want to run the ball, that's fine, but we're going to try to take that away and have you beat us through the air. And so we'll see if what Larry Sandy and his team have cooked up here for the third quarter and fourth quarter of this game. And I think for Brad Sandy and his team, they have to be pleased with the way the team moved the ball. They could certainly have more points than they do right now. And so I imagine we'll probably see that mix. We'll see the fullback Wolf and Toso, the halfback up the middle, and mix in a few pass plays. And Blair Sandy has looked very impressive for his first title game start.
Once again, if you're joining us late, it's brother against brother in this game. Harvey, coached by Brad Sandy. Larry Sandy is the coach of Velva-Sawyer. 8 children in that family, 4 boys and 4 girls. The parents live in West Hope, and Brad and Larry were telling me yesterday that, because I said, who are your parents going to root for? And they said, roots for her grandson.
Yeah, Grandma said it during the halftime interview with Eric Whitman. We want to see.
Oh, I missed that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we want to see Blair win, and the boys, the dads, they're big enough to handle whatever happens. But as a grandparent, you love to see those grandkids do well. You know, it's interesting, Pat, with Brad and Larry Sandy. There are a couple of guys that are normally used to helping each other this time of year. They say they talk a couple times each week, and in 2000, last year, Velva was in a game with Langdon. Well, Brad's team had played Langdon in the regular season, so they got together and helped draw up some new plays. Back in 1998, when Velva-Sawyer took on Stanley, when Harvey took on Stanley for the championship, Larry helped Brad out with some game planning. So these guys are used to helping each other out, but this week they've had to go it alone because the other Sandy brother's been busy.
All that family stuff ended as soon as the opening kick was in the air today. We're ready to go here, and Velva-Sawyer will tee it up. Matt Hagan will kick it off, and deep to receive for the Harvey Hornets will be number 34, Jason Toso, and number 25, Andrew Fowl. And away we go. Coming down to Fowl at his own 12-yard line. Has a big wall in front of him, but manages to get across the 25-yard line. Pullman slamming into him along with number 84, Jesse Knutson. Actually, they'll mark it just shy of the 30. And that's where Harvey will open things up here to start the third quarter, leading 8-7. They'll send Ross Schilling and Jason Combs to the left side and Fowl to the right. And they give to the fullback, Wolf. Gets a couple there as Weidler meets him.
Boy, was that a collision there. You get Weidler, the linebacker, and the fullback Wolf colliding in the whole mano-a-mano.
Heavyweights.
There's some noise on that impact. See Weidler stepping in there like a good linebacker, getting his hips square to the target and then just driving through. Good play by both guys. Good play on the tackle, good play by the running back to fall forward for an extra yard.
2-yard gain. They fake the handoff. Now they pitch it back to Toso, and ouch! Jarvis Gemtrude pinning him to the turf.
Well, I think Toso was expecting that ball a little bit earlier, and it looked like possibly Blair Sandy mishandled it. It slipped out of his hand a little bit, so he had to wait a split second longer than he wanted to pitch that ball, and by the time he did, Gentry was there to lay the hit on him.
So it's 3rd and 9 now. Sandy sends 2 receivers left and 1 to the right. Lots of time, and he comes to the crossing. Schilling, who is smothered by number 33, Danny Holman, well short of the first down.
Well, when Andrew Fall lines up split out to the right side, you're getting some cornerback help right on the line of scrimmage, and then you're getting a safety as well.
Schilling.
There you go.
I'll turn down my volume.
There he is up. Pat on the call, the last play, a nice little crossing route there, comes up just short of a first down. But I wanted to say that Velva-Sawyer is also cheating a free safety over. They're going to double team Andrew Fall, so if you're going to beat him through the air, Velva-Sawyer would like you to beat them with somebody besides number 25.
I didn't mean to do play-by-play twice there, Steve. Actually, that was on tape. Oh, faking the punt. Sandy to Fall, breaking 1 tackle, and down across midfield. It's a first down for the Harvey Hornets.
Well, that's one way to beat a double team. You throw to him out of punt formation. Andrew Fall lining up as the guy on the end there, the fellow not protected on the end, so he's eligible on that play. Goes down, runs a little square out past the first down stick, and when your punter's the quarterback, you know he can throw the football as well. That had the makings of a big play over there also, but a nice job by, I think that was Weidler again, hustling over to make the tackle.
So Harvey pulling one out of the bag of tricks. 1st and 10 from the Aggie 49. And it's Toso slashing off to the left side, breaks away, and he gets a nice gain of about 8 yards. More effort. It's been a day of second effort here at the Fargo Dome.
Well, your first instinct is to say, what's wrong with those guys? Why can't they tackle? But watch the way Jason Toso runs here. He runs so low to the ground, and he's so compact that it's hard to get a good handle on him. He just buries that shoulder pad into you, and unless you can get down basically on the ground to grab his knee or one of his legs, he's going to break a lot of those tackles. So in some ways you want to say the defense made a mistake, but on that play you just have to say a better job of carrying the football by the running back.
Toso 5'9", 170. 2nd down. The give is to Wolf, who breaks away past another man and another, and out of bounds he goes at the 25-yard line. And the Hornets have some big momentum here early second half.
This just a kind of a lead play, just straight ahead running there by the fullback Wolf, and broke another tackle, got to the out. If he'd have been able to stay in bounds, he'd have had a lot more yards. I was just going to look for, just check the numbers again, but I think you got to give a lot of credit to the Harvey offensive line. 2 new cogs in there this week, replacing 2 very good players, and right now you'd say that the Harvey offensive line is getting the best of it.
The Aggies now know you can't arm tackle that guy. Room for Toso on the right. Up to the 21-yard line. Gain of 4 on first down. And getting up there after the play, Matt Weidler. Toso and Wolf both 1,000-yard rushers, and Toso's got 35 already today.
Well, you can see why. 2 great backs in a tandem there. Center Nathan Arnold, number 68, and right guard Kyle Wenzel, number 70. The 2 new implements in the toolbox there for the Harvey offensive line. They're doing a great job here, especially on this drive.
Toss back there to the left side kind of backfired. Schilling just had to protect the ball as the throw was coming in low, and that'll bring up 3rd and 10 here. Eric Widman downstairs. What have you got for us?
In that last little discussion with Coach Larry Sandy, he was telling his assistants that they got to get their defensive ends to play inside a little bit more. He's not happy with the way they're formed up. We'll see what happens coming up next. Back to you guys.
They're getting kicked out quite a bit, allowing some room off tackle, so watch for that adjustment.
Time for Sandy into traffic, and that is incomplete, intended for foul in triple coverage there.
Well, you've got a 4th and 10 now, but you also have, you're kind of in that territory right now that even if you go for it on 4th down and you don't make the first down, the other team, the best they do is end up on the 25-yard line. So Hornets will likely go for this one.
They'll send Schilling, Combs, and Toso to the right. Foul to the left on 4th and 10.
Don't be surprised to see a quarterback draw here.
And Wolf goes over the middle to foul, and it was almost picked off. Holman nearly got a hold of that one.
Yeah, it looked like Holman had it right in his stomach there, but the receiver turned into a defensive player there quickly and laid a hit on him, and the ball bounced free. And would have been better for Harvey if he would have intercepted the ball, actually, but nice job by the Velva-Sawyer offense. That time Harvey had been marching it down the field very effectively, but the Aggies come up with a big stand, and after a wild and crazy first quarter, Pat, things have really settled down.
Foul just jarred it loose there, as you saw on the replay. On misdirection, that's to go nowhere. Dan Holman broke loose after the whistle, and that's what has the Aggie fans groaning.
Well, there was a great play that time by Luke Heitman. Watch number 52 on this play. He stands up a block, and he was kind of getting another guy blocking on him, so there were two guys working on him there, and he stood that up and was able to get into the backfield and slope the ball carrier long enough for the official to blow the whistle.
His knee never really hit, but they lose 2 on the play. It's 2nd and 12 here. And a 2 receiver set for Colby. Complete to Holman. Tried to put on the brakes and turn around the defender, and he just went down right where he was at the 20, and that'll lose a couple more yards.
Now Holman trying to stop and turn back inside, hoping to gain some more yardage. There wasn't much room along the sideline for him to catch that ball and move upfield, and sometimes you try to make those quick cuts and your feet give out, and then you're in some trouble. So now we've got a 3rd and long now for the Velva-Sawyer Aggies.
Velva-Sawyer does not list heights on its program. I had to ask at practice yesterday how tall the quarterback Colby was, and it took me a while to get a straight answer, but he is 5'8", kind of a Doug Flutie type here for the Aggies. Looking long there, but he'll be sacked. Took about 3 Harvey Hornet defenders to take him down. Kyle Wenzel, number 70, is one, and number 15, Brian Buxa, is another.
Velva-Sawyer ran 3 receivers deep that time. I think just 3 vertical patterns straight down the field, hoping for somebody to come open, but the Harvey defensive line did a great job of getting pressure in there, and you really need some extra time if you're going to make those plays work.
Luke Heitman also in there. Luke Rogers gets this punt away. And here is Fall trying to turn the corner on the outside, and he is tripped up by Gemtrud as he gets to the midfield stripe. It'll be 1st and 10 at the Velva-Sawyer 49-yard line. 5:20 to go. It's Harvey with an 8-7 lead on Velva-Sawyer. You're watching the North Dakota High School Football Championships live on WDAY, WDAZ, KBMY, and KMCY.
At Fireside, when we go into a company, we have to figure out their philosophy. When we were designing here at MDU, we went around and individually talked to each person to find out what their needs were. After we get the project, we're not finished. We have our installers come out there and install it. And we're also out there making sure everything is how the customer wanted it.
At Fireside, we're doing more than just selling you furniture. We're here to design your office so it really fits your needs and your company's way of doing business.
Congratulations to the Velva-Sawyer football team in the 2001 North Dakota State Championships. Under the coaching of Larry Sandy and Michael Thingstad, your spirit and commitment to the team and hard work brought you to an undefeated season with an 11-0 record. Congratulations, Aggies, from these following local merchants: People's State Bank, Velva; Northern Tier Federal Credit Union, Velva.
Well, as the late great baseball announcer Red Barber once said, this game is tighter than a brand new pair of shoes on a rainy day. 8-7, Harvey leading the defending champs from Velva-Sawyer, and Harvey's got the ball with 5:20 to go in the 3rd quarter. And they give to the fullback, Wolf, with some room ahead of him, and he's tripped up by Holman, but he gets the 1st down for the Harvey Hornets.
Right over left guard that time, the running back goes, and little misdirection, kind of a trap play on the interior there, and Wolf finds a nice hole. Takes it out for a first down and gives Harvey some great field position at about the 36-yard line.
Ball is out to the left. It's Toso trying to turn the corner on the right, and he does. Jason Toso up to the 25-yard line, and it's another Harvey first down.
Well, I don't know that that play was specifically designed to go to the outside. The offensive line just doing straight ahead blocking, but Toso found some room to his right, saw an opening there at the corner and got out there quickly. And with a combination of Wolf and Toso, maybe a little face mask got away with there by Velva-Sawyer.
Holman and Weidler among those combining for the tackle. It's the fullback Wolf, and he just keeps going and going and going. They'll mark him down at the 17-yard line, and it'll be second down and 2.
That time just a great effort. Somebody had a hold of his shirt in there, didn't quite pick up the number. I think that was that number 55? Yeah, that would be Brent Wunderlich, had a hold of the shirt, but you're not going to bring down that young man with a shirt tackle. Now you're setting up play action passes here, Pat. Pretty soon Harvey's going to fake that ball up the middle, pull it back, and give it a throw upfield.
Well, there's that's Kyle Wolf bouncing off the blocks and picking up a few extra yards, and that will move the chains again. Another Harvey first down inside the 15.
Thought we might see the play action there on 1. Brad Sandy opting to go ahead and get that first down, give himself 3 new downs. And if you need 1 yard to go, I'm going to say that if you give it to young Mr. Wolf, that you're going to get that first down more often than not on 3rd and 1.
Kyle Wolf, a 6-foot, 200-pound senior. The leading rusher with 1,189 yards for Harvey coming into the game. And here's Toso, another 1,000-yard rusher, churning and churning, and look at how many guys it took to bring him down. A lot of effort for maybe a yard or 2.
It's a straight handoff, straight ahead blocking again, and Toso decides to break this one outside as well, but Matt Weidler is there to put a hit on him, and another pretty good collision. But how about the effort by Toso, just working hard for an extra yard or 2. Didn't have much originally, but fought his way for a short gain.
I counted 6 Velva-Sawyer defenders who got a hand on him there. So second down and 9, we'll call it. And on play action, over the middle, it's complete to Combs inside the 5. And Holman takes him down at the 4. And that'll be close to another first down. And yes, they do say it is a first down. 1st and goal coming up here.
Well, that time Combs came from the right side of the formation, just dragged across the field. There was that play action pass we talked about, fake run inside, and Sandy rolls to the left and then throws back in the middle of the field, and a very accurate pass. And on those crossing routes where the receiver is coming quickly across the line of scrimmage, you have to have that pass right on the money or it'll be awfully tough to catch. That time Blair Sandy did.
Points have been scarce. A huge possession here, and Harvey adds to the lead. Kyle Wolf forging ahead for his 14th rushing touchdown of the season.
Well, this looked an awful lot like the play that Matt Weidler scored on for Velva in the first half. The line just gets a great push. Look at all those white-shirted guys moving backward and the blue-shirted guys following through and pushing them into the end zone for the score.
And Harvey will try for 2 here. They converted for 2 on their first touchdown. It's Wolf again, but he won't get anything here. So it's 14-7. Harvey ahead of the defending state champs from Velva-Sawyer with 2:10 to go. And you're watching live coverage of the North Dakota High School Football Championships on WDAY, WDAZ, KBMY, and KMCY.
In North Dakota, pride and performance go hand in hand. It's forming unspoken friendships. It's trusting neighbors, supporting community. And for 70 years, it's how Cenex has been doing business in North Dakota. You'll always receive high-quality, dependable Clean Guard gasolines, backed by the Cenex Performance Promise. You've got our word on it. Cenex Clean Guard gasolines, where pride and performance meet. Only at your local Cenex and Pride convenience store.
In the 9-man game, we saw what the third quarter did for Strasburg-Zeeland. Look at Harvey now. They have outgained Velva-Sawyer 94 yards to -10 since halftime.
Touchdown run again. Kyle Wolf up the middle. Just a great push by the center and the left guard, driving the Aggies backwards. I think in the last 2 quarters now, Pat, you take the second and third quarter, we've really seen Harvey start to establish some control on the line of scrimmage, and now it's up to the Aggies. It's 14-7, and certainly a lot of football game to be played. You're only 1 score down, and you don't even need a 2-point conversion. Just a touchdown and an extra point conversion.
Kelly Marthy kicks it on the ground, and John Plasuk picked it up, and he is smothered by the Harvey coverage there. Looked like Michael Hoffert, one of the men making the stop. So it'll be 1st and 10 from the 32-yard line with 1:59 left here for Velva-Sawyer, which has not scored since the 9:24 mark of the opening quarter. Senior quarterback Blake Colby with the pitch back to Danny Holman. And he is sandwiched as he gets to the 35-yard line between Toso and Wolf, the running backs for Harvey, making the stop in the defensive backfield. And it'll be 2nd down and about 7 here.
You start to see more and more guys from the Harvey defense starting to inch toward the line of scrimmage. They're going to try to take away the rushing attack of Velva-Sawyer and make the Aggies beat them with a pass play or two. At time Holman running hard, but just not a lot of room.
That's Holman in motion, and they give it to Weidler, and the big guy gets close. 1st down at the 41-yard line. Looks like he'll be a yard shy.
Weidler lining up on the right side of the offensive backfield, coming across. Just a nice kick out block. Nice job by the center and left guard of sealing their men to the inside, giving Weidler some room to maneuver, and now you've got a 3rd and short.
1 yard away from a 1st down are the Aggies. And that's Holman in motion. That's Holman with the ball. He's got the 1st down and a lot of room on the right side. He gets by foul, and now it's a foot race. They won't get him. Touchdown Aggies. "59 yards.
What a great burst of speed by Danny Holman. Burst through the line, broke a tackle, saw some open field to his right, and then he just turned on the jets. It looked like the defensive back, number 80, Brent Mache, might have had the angle on him, but he was just outrun.
Matt Hagan converts the extra point, and lo and behold, wait a minute, we've got a flag down. Roughing the kicker. The referee has to call Velva-Sawyer back on the field. They don't realize.
It might have actually been roughing the holder. That time Blake Colby took a big shot, and I believe he was the guy that put the ball down. Here's another look at that touchdown run. A similar play that we saw Weidler run just a moment ago. That time the defense flowing hard to its right, and Holman gets some good blocking at the point of attack, gets into the linebacker in the secondary area, and just turns on the jets cutting back across the field. What a big play for Velva-Sawyer. Had not really been able to establish a whole lot of offensive production here in the last 2 quarters. When you got guys like both of these teams have, anything can happen at any time. Danny Holman has a touchdown run that he'll brag about for years and years. Well, he should.
14 apiece now with 29.8 seconds to go. And they will assess the penalty on this kickoff. They'll kick it from, Velva-Sawyer will kick it from its own 45-yard line. As Matt Hagan tees it up, and looks like we're in for a fantastic finish here, Stephen. Hagan boots this one back to the goal line where Fowl takes it for the Hornets. Trying to turn the corner, and he does, and he almost got by that man, number 12, David Knorr. But out of bounds he goes. Inside the 30.
Set up as a middle return, but that time Fall saw some room to the outside. Boy, can he run. He really gets to that corner and turns upfield quick.
They'll mark it at the 31 there, Steve. 1st and 10. We've got 22.2 seconds left. You don't see the tenths there on your shot, but we can see it here where we are. That ended a long dry spell for Velva-Sawyer. And Velva-Sawyer's momentum continues as Toso is smothered. It was Brent Wunderlich, number 55.
Wow, did he get in on that play in a hurry? Lined up as a down lineman, just shot through the gap there. Not sure if somebody missed a blocking assignment or if he was just that quick to beat the ball.
A loss of 3 as the 3rd quarter ends. 14-14. Stay tuned for the finale, the last quarter of North Dakota Class A high school football. You're watching the state championships on WDAY, WDAZ, KBMY, and KMCY.
Now get 7-year or 100,000-mile powertrain protection on 2002 Dodge Ram.
Hi, I'm Dennis Franz. We at ABC salute those heroes who have made such a great difference in this hour of need. Recently, the charity AmeriCare started the Heroes Fund for the spouses and children of New York City's firefighters and police officers who perished in the tragedy on September 11th. They could use your help. Please call 1-800-486-HELP and pledge what you can. Thank you.
Well, would you want it any other way in a state championship game? Down to the wire here, one last quarter, and the defending state champions from Velva-Sawyer tie this game at 14 against Harvey. And what a finish we are today on the opening day of this 2001 Dakota Bowl. First play of the 4th quarter coming up here for the Harvey Hornets. And on the reverse, it's Fowl. Gets away from one man. Gets away from the second one. Flag thrown on the far side of the field. A lot of running for a gain of about 2 yards, and it was finally Luke Rogers making the stop.
We're going to have a penalty in the backfield. It looked like that time Jason Coombs got just a little bit of a shove in the back of one of the Aggie defenders, and as soon as he laid his hands on him, he almost brought him up to his head saying, oh no, what did I do? And he didn't really make that big of a block. It wasn't what you call a crushing blow from behind, but just got a little piece of him. There you saw number 24 took a spill, and they'll bring this one back, and it's going to be some tough field position now for the Harvey offense.
Big clipping penalty against Harvey. Let's send it down to Eric Widman.
Okay, guys, thank you very much. On their last offensive possession, Brad Sandy told his guys he wanted to get a quick touchdown. They did. This time around, he wants to slow it down, grind the clock out a little bit. The other thing is that he was talking about possibly running the old reverse, but I didn't get to you soon enough. They already ran it. Back to you guys.
Well, he should call for that quick touchdown again. It worked great last time.
Give to Toso. Slashing his way all the way up to the 20-yard line. They have to get it down to the 42 for a first down, so Harvey up against it here after that clipping call.
Yeah, and a good play, not to try to get it all back at once, but you call a draw play there, and he gains good yards. There's nothing wrong with that. Sometimes when you get those penalties, you just have to say, well, we're not going to be able to chew off that big bite and get it all back right at once, so let's take it in pieces. There you got a piece. Now it's 3rd and 22. You got a pretty big piece to go yet, but you don't want to kill yourself and put yourself in terrible field position for the what might be upcoming punt.
So we would anticipate well, just as I thought they were going to keep it on the ground, they air it out. And it's, almost caught on a diving attempt there by Jason Combs. John Plasuk back there covering for the Aggies.
3rd and 22, don't mind that call if it gets picked off. Probably just as good as a punt. Got to throw it up, jump ball, and Combs was out there and just off the fingertips.
Wow. So 4th down now, and Blair Sandy goes back in punt formation. Blake Colby and Dan Holman back for the Aggies. And a high one, it'll be a short one too, coming down at the 45, but it takes a Harvey bounce across midfield to the 48-yard line. It's 14 between Velva-Sawyer and Harvey. You're watching North Dakota High School football on WDAY, WDAZ, KBMY, and KMCY.
Remember last year's high fossil fuel prices and how much you paid to heat your home? Were you in over your head? This year, fuel prices may not be quite as high. Feeling comfortable yet? How long before you make a change? Controlled electric heating rates haven't gone up in more than 15 years. No surprises, low rates. That's comfort you can live with.
Clean, comfortable, affordable heat with electricity from Otter Tail Power Company.
In North Dakota, pride and performance go hand in hand. It's forming unspoken friendships. It's trusting neighbors, supporting community. And for 70 years, it's how Cenex has been doing business in North Dakota. You'll always receive high-quality, dependable Clean Guard gasolines, backed by the Cenex Performance Promise. You've got our word on it. Cenex Clean Guard gasolines, where pride and performance meet. Only at your local Cenex and Pride convenience store.
About 230, 240 rushing yards a game, but Velva-Sawyer with the big edge right now, 174 to 92, but 2 big runs contributed to that greatly. A 50-yard run by Matt Weidler on the opening play, and Dan Holman's 59-yard touchdown run late 3rd quarter. First and 10 for Velva-Sawyer. And Colby will take it himself. Picks up about a yard or 2, and it'll be 2nd down coming up here with 10:18 to go.
Harvey defense really stacking that. They call it a box. If you want to call it 3-4 yards off the line of scrimmage and tackle to tackle, they call that the offensive box sometimes. Well, the defense or the defensive box, the Harvey Hornets are bringing that linebacking core right up behind the tails of the down linemen, and so in order to run straight ahead, you're going to have to run through a lot of guys.
That's Holman in motion. But Weidler, the big bruiser, has it, and he'll be close to a first down. He appears to have it from where they're spotting the ball. And yes, it is a first down for the Aggies.
Hard to think a running play to Matt Weidler is ever a bad idea. He just puts his head down. He's got a good mix of strength and speed. Bowls forward for about 8 yards.
Sideline reporter Eric Widman has some information for us. Eric.
Thanks, guys. In that last time out, Larry Sandy was telling his Aggies he was getting on the offensive line a little bit. He wants the blocking is to pick it up a little bit and also keep an eye out for the play action. Maybe throw the Hornets off a little bit. Back to you guys.
Well, when Weidler is doing so well, you keep giving it to him, and look at him go all the way down inside the 15-yard line. Matt Weidler
When you pound it and pound it and pound it all day long, pretty soon those holes will open up. At least they have today for Velva-Sawyer now. Some big chunks of yardage being gained by the Aggie backs. Nothing fancy there, just up the middle and put a hat on somebody, drive him backwards, and wait for the running back to find a hole and go. And that's exactly what happened there.
Brent Mache making the stop. We've got whistles blowing here. With 9:02 left. Not sure what the problem was. Now we're ready to go.
I think they needed to reset the play clock.
Oh, is that what it was? Holman in motion. He takes the ball. Room ahead of him. Holman, touchdown! Dan Holman with his second touchdown in a row as the hole opened up in front of him, and he scores to make it 20-14.
Boy, what a great push that time by the guards. Luke Rogers, Dave Vogel at the center position. Just blew a big hole in the Harvey defense. But now the point after is blocked, and if that's one special teams thing that's gone completely in favor of the Hornets, or if there is one, that's it. Here's another look at the touchdown. Watch the push by the offensive line. A nice job by Holman to cut back just a little bit to find enough room, cruise in for the touchdown. But another kick now blocked by the Harvey kick prevention crew. They've now got a field goal and an extra point. So it sets up a little more theater here. Now Harvey with a touchdown and any sort of an extra point will go ahead.
Holman's 18th rushing touchdown this season, but it's only a 6-point lead now with a 20-14 count with 8:52 to go. Eric Widman was listening in the Harvey huddle. Eric, do you have some information?
He basically is telling his guys to calm down. Obviously, he's not happy about giving up the touchdown, but he was using the blocked extra point to try and get his guys going. Also, watch this. I think they're probably going to try and pound it up the middle and get the he wants a touchdown right now. We'll see if these guys can do it. Back to you guys.
Well, Andrew Fall has returned 5 punts for touchdowns, but no kicks yet, and they're trying to keep it away from him. It'll come to one of the up men, and they had a little trouble there. 57, Cody Rogest was the first man to touch it, and it went to Michael Hoffert, number 30.
Hoffert that time doing the smart thing. You know what? Those are the kind of plays that just look doomed from the beginning. It starts bouncing off guys, and somebody tries to pick it up, and the pursuit gets closer, and you try to pick it up too quick and never get a handle. Said, you know what? This is not going to result in anything great for us. I'm just going to fall on the football. Smart move.
1st and 10 from the Harvey 25. And they give to Kyle Wolf, crashing across the line of scrimmage and struggling for about 3 yards there.
Boy, we have seen some hefty collisions between running backs and linebackers, probably because you've got linebackers playing running back on both teams. Guys that just are not afraid of contact. Kyle Wolf just struggling and fighting for yards. Matt Weidler throwing his shoulder pads in there, making a lot of noise. It's good football.
2nd and 8 here. And Sandy with time dumps it off to Toso, and he's met immediately. 3 Aggies converge on him, led by number 71, Paul Gelstad, the defensive tackle.
Yeah, great awareness by Paul Gelstad. Just a freshman playing some big minutes here, and recognized that the Hornets were looking screen pass out of the backfield, and there was an opening there for a minute, but when Gelstad hustled down the line, he closed off the alley that Toso would have had.
Key play for Harvey here. 3rd and 6 with 7:38 to go. And the left-hander has some room ahead of him. Sandy wants to take it himself, but he is stopped short of the first down by Weidler.
Well, this is going to bring up 4th down and a full 2 yards. So this is more than just a quarterback sneak. Try to get an extra foot or two. And decision time now for Brad Sandy.
First contact by Jarvis Gemtrude, and Harvey will talk things over here with 7:08 left in regulation time. We'll be back with you tomorrow. Don't forget, 2 more state title games coming up at noon. Saturday, Trinity of Dickinson against the Bison of Hazen. And at 2:45 or thereabouts, Class AAA will match Fargo South against Bismarck, and that will be the end of the 2001 North Dakota high school football season. Glad to have the games back on the air this year for you.
There's just something about that final weekend of tournament action. And what always really hits me, Pat, is at the Fargo Dome, you kind of look and there's a pretty good crowd, a lot of people turning out. Not a capacity crowd here, but for every person in the stands, there's 100 back at home across this great state of ours who are here in spirit. And to those of you who are watching today, a special welcome to you. Wish you could be here, but since you can't, we're glad to have you watching us on the TV side of things.
Next year, this championship weekend will move to the Alaris Center in Grand Forks. Folks at the Fargo Dome have done a great job all these years. Harvey will go for it here. 4th and a long one. They give to Wolf, and this will be very close. Yeah,
he had to get just over the 35-yard line, and from where they spot that ball, he's going to be short.
And the ball goes over. The referee says he did not make it. Velva-Sawyer takes over on downs at the 35-yard line with 7:04 to play.
Well, the play originally was supposed to go over right guard, but there was nothing there, so Wolf did a nice job of bouncing back and trying to find an alley to the left side of center. You watch it here, just a great push on the left side of the line. Trying to pick up a number there, but a couple of guys in there on the play for Velva-Sawyer clogging that thing up. Brent Wunderlicht in there from his defensive tackle spot. Not much room, and now Velva-Sawyer with a chance to really take a big step toward putting this game out of reach.
This one's coming back against the Aggies.
Those are the penalties that'll drive you crazy as a coach. You've got the ball at the 35-yard line, a chance to go in for what would look to be a decisive score, and you just have one of those little mental mistakes. So now you start 1st and 15.
.703 to go, 4th quarter. 20-14, the defending champion Velva-Sawyer Aggies lead it. That's Gemtrude in motion, but they give to Holman in the backfield, and he is met immediately by Luke Heitman, the 6', 205 senior defensive lineman.
The Aggies just trying to get the defense thinking instead of reacting there. A couple of guys crisscrossing in the backfield. The handoff goes to the left side, and a real nice job that time by Luke Heitman to get in the way. We've called his name a lot. He's played a great game.
Loss of 2, 2nd and 17 is the situation here with 6.5 minutes and counting. They set Nathan Chilson to the right and Gemtrude in motion. And more flags are flying, and Harvey is applauding. And another motion call will go against the Aggies here.
Well, that's 2 big motion penalties now. The Aggies have played a fairly mistake-free ball game. Not a lot in the way of laundry today, really, from either team. So now you're in 2nd down, about 23 yards to go.
They have to get to the 25-yard line. Ball is just across the 48 here. 2nd down. That's Holman in motion. Big Weidler slashes to the left side, but he picks up a few yards before being smothered by Kyle Wolf, among others. So third and long.
Ranging over from the inside linebacker spot there. And boy, it's really been a lot of ebb and flow to whose offensive line is able to move whose defensive line in this game. For a while there, Velva-Sawyer kind of had the Harvey defense back on its heels, but now the Hornets have dug in and been real strong in the trenches.
David Knorr, the senior split end, bringing in the play. And he lines up wide to the right.
Now let's see what Larry Sandy has up his sleeve here on third and very long.
Colby on the draw. He's tripped up. Nothing doing there, says Cody August. Got back to the line of scrimmage and maybe gained a half a yard, but that's it.
Well, the play looked promising for a minute.
Yep.
The old quarterback draw. Colby takes about 3 steps back and then tucks it in. Ragas with a great job of hustle. Look at him diving for those shoes there. And if Colby is able to get past that tackle and break it outside, he had a lot of room.
Punt comes down to Schilling. Eludes one man, but the Aggies catch up with him. Gemtrude. And it looks like Dave Vogel or Matt Hagan, one or the other over there on the stop. 4:37 to go. You're watching the North Dakota Class A Championship on WDAY, WDAZ, KBMY, and KMCY.
It's a whole new world. Kyocera Media Digital Document Imaging from Fireside Office Plus. Kyocera Media, an international leader in connected digital printer and copier technology. And Fireside Office Plus, local guaranteed accountability. Digitally correct technology for digitally correct solutions. It's a whole new world. Kyocera Media digital copiers and network printers from Fireside Office Plus.
Congratulations to the Velva-Sawyer football team on reaching the 2001 North Dakota State Championships. Under the coaching of Larry Sandy and Michael Thingstad, your spirit and commitment to the team and hard work brought you to an undefeated season with an 11-0 record. Congratulations, Aggies, from these following local merchants: People's State Bank, Velva; Northern Tier Federal Credit Union, Velva.
On the Merit Care Sports Medicine scoreboard, it's defending Class A champion Velva-Sawyer 20, Harvey 14. We've got 4 minutes and 37 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter. And Harvey taking over first and 10 at its own 24.
Well, plenty of time right now, Pat. Harvey has 2 timeouts left, 4.5 minutes to go. This is a team that knows how to pass and does it fairly well. So time should not be a factor here with the Hornet offense.
Sandy sends Jason Combs to the right side. And on play action, Sandy in trouble. Gets away from one man over the middle, and it's overthrown, intended for Brent Bachmeyer. But oh, what pressure by the Aggies.
Boy, I'll tell you, I don't know how Blair Sandy got away. I think that was Brent Wunderlich, number 55. Take another look here. Sandy back to pass, and besides one guy, he's got all kinds of time. Yeah, that's right. It was number 55, Wunderlich, in there. Gets away, and Brent's reaching back, just struggling to get some part of the quarterback. And really great job of keeping his balance by Sandy.
He was doing all he could to hang on to that knee pad. So 2nd and 10 here. Sandy to Toso, and it's good night. Brent Wunderlich, the man we were just talking about, pushing him back to the 20-yard line.
Boy, is he a big game player or what? He's been involved on so many plays now on offense and defense. Such a great job pushing on the offensive line. And you know, these guys have played both ways, especially in the offensive line. These guys aren't running backs or receivers that if the play doesn't come to you, you may not be involved the whole time. These guys are banging heads and crushing bodies for 10 seconds on every single play. Got to admire the stamina and the determination of those linemen, especially the ones going both ways.
Looked like we saw